Welcome to People Power in Politics. Hard talk, riveting interviews, community updates, in-depth analysis. That's People Power in Politics. We tell it to you as it is. No holds barred. You are the people, you have the power. We bring you the politics. To listen to our show, be a guest, or to advertise, visit www.pppradio.nyc. That's www.pppradio.nyc.
A very warm welcome to everyone. We are joined by a very special guest, Mr. Lance Grove, who is the Chief Executive Officer and co-founder of Grove 1031. He has been named as one of the top 10 most influential people in the realm of tax and real estate. Welcome, sir. Good to have you.
Thanks for having me.
Our pleasure. So tell us, who is Lance Grove, and is Grove your real name?
I haven't gotten that in a while because this is just such a staple. Growth is my real name. When I became an American citizen, it gave me the option to choose a name. And kind of like that would be a bit of a long story, but my father wasn't much of my life. And after finishing law school, which was a tremendously painful experience, it was like a couple of weeks before I graduated and before I got my citizenship, and he called me and said, "Congratulations, son, you're doing the Henry name proud," which was my last name, which, if you think about it, Henry St. Lucian, or Anglican Church of England, started with King Henry. So I just sat there and thought to myself, like, I'm about to put all this sweat equity into this name. I didn't think too much about it, but then I went to get finish my citizenship, and I just saw it there, and it kind of shocked me. And I sat in the hallway for an hour, like, oh God, I'm about to change my name. What am I going to change it to? And I actually grew up in Connecticut, and it was always, it was a lot of violence around us. So all the guys, I'm 40 now, so as a little 14-year-old, all the guys 40, they kind of look like me, talk like me, dress like me, same sneakers, jersey. And all my life, all I wanted to do was just grow, evolve, change. And I don't know what happened, but I just walked in there and I just wrote growth, and that was it.
And the rest is history.
The rest is history.
Okay, so tell us about your company, Grove 1031. How did it get started?
Yeah, so I was working in the Thomas Jefferson School of Law, is the law school I went to in San Diego, and I used to work in a business law clinic, and we basically help people start companies. And one of my clients was trying to do investment, and then he bought a property and helped him get it, and he came back literally a couple months later, like, I'm about to sell it. What am I going to do with all these taxes? I was like, I don't know. I'll figure it out, which is what we do as law students, figure out the problems. And I stumbled upon 1031 exchanges, which, hey, you can shelter all your taxes. Don't worry about it. And figured out it was a whole industry. I got really good at it, became number one in the nation at the company, and I got a job at, and asked them to make me, partner brashly 2 years in. They said no. I said, okay, do my own thing. And, then became the biggest competitor.
Okay, great. So based on what you just mentioned, there is 1031 only for the wealthy, the 10%.
What? Why would people think that? The response I like to give is 1031 isn't just for the wealthy. 1031 is for the informed. So you can have a $5 million property. If that $5 million property turns to $10 million, you have taxes. You can use a 1031. You can buy a $50,000 property. If that $50,000 property turns to $100,000, you have taxes. Use a 1031. So it isn't for the wealthy. It's just for the informed, and there are just so many benefits that people are sometimes just unaware of.
Okay, can you give us an example of some of those benefits?
Simple. All three of us right now, if we're going to buy a property, we bought it for $1,000. Yay. We hold on to the property. 10 years later, somebody wants to give us $100,000. We're all excited. That's $90,000 to us. But what people just don't realize is the moment you sell an asset, it triggers taxes, state tax, federal tax, what's called your depreciation for capture tax. And then we're going to be like, oh, it's not $90,000 anymore because we got to give Uncle Sam $30,000. And we're going to be mad about that. But if you come to Lance, you can keep your $30,000. So
okay. So, taking it into account inflation and the recent failures of certain banks and other factors, what options would you provide to individuals seeking to preserve their wealth, whatever size that wealth is?
Yeah, the options is still one, use a 1031, because a lot of people actually just don't use it and they realize they can. everybody, if you own a home, you're going to have taxes when you sell it. You can use something called a 121. There's just a number of different things available to people that they can utilize. They're just uninformed about these things. CPAs aren't just quick to tell you do a 1031, do a 121, use these certain tax structures. It's just that I happen to have hyper focused on it in law school, and I know all of them. So when banks fail, the thing is people got more concerned about their money. Simple and plain. If you can't keep your money in a bank, where can you keep your money?
Under the bed?
Under the bed, like so straight St. Lucian. It is. If people are more concerned about their money, that's a good thing. It's okay, great. You should read up on the 1031. You should read up on these tax benefits. The thing I tell people, if you have fear of what could go wrong, educate yourself on how to prevent that. And that's all 1031 exchanges are. So there's a number of different things that people can do, because banks failing, interest rates rising, all that's doing is triggering people's interest in actually paying attention more to their money, which is something they should have done prior.
Okay, so typically who would be the ideal client for Grove 1031?
Anybody with an investment property. But funny enough, anybody that actually COVID did this. It forced a lot of people to work from home. So if you own a business and you work from home, literally the square footage of your your place that you own, that's considered used for business or investment purposes. So when you sell your property, you can now utilize a 1031 exchange to shelter the taxes on a portion of your home. So it's a number of different ways that people can utilize that.
All right. So bringing the focus back to you, what are some of the challenges that you faced entering this field generally and specifically as a black man?
As a black man.
And an immigrant as well.
As a black immigrant, oh my Lanta, they're out to get me. I will be very honest with you. Prior to law school, I'm a state champion boxer, 2006 light heavyweight in Connecticut. Coming to this country, my mom never had a television. So the first time I even heard the word nigger was by my 5th grade teacher. And I told her, no, ma'am, I'm not Nigerian. I'm St. Lucian. Because I just didn't know what it was. Like, what are you guys talking about? I'll just be very honest. I've never understood it. If somebody's pissed at me, I'm like, you're just being a dick. I'll figure it out, get around you. I just never really experienced it, because like sometimes my assistant has to remind you, oh my God, did you realize you're the only black man in the room? And I replied, no, I thought I was the only smart one, but thanks for educating me. So I really never really felt, I felt a ton of adversity, but I just felt adversity because I was trying to do so much. I never really felt it was because I'm black. And if it definitely happened, because when I reflected, like, oh my God, I can't believe she was pissed because I was black. But I just don't think about it, because I don't care if something's in my way. I'm always gonna get through it.
Okay, great. So, thinking about getting through it, sometimes we think that we need permission to succeed, and offer Ayn Rand said, I'm sorry?
Said permission to succeed.
Yes.
My Lanta.
The question, she said, the question isn't who is going to let me, it is who is going to stop me.
Yeah.
So success means different things to different people. As a successful individual, what does it mean to you?
Oh, wow. That word permission to succeed just struck a chord. Success means ownership for me. Ownership of your right to succeed, ownership of your right to literally express who you are and make your imprint on this world. I think a lot of people, especially people, you come from school sometimes conditions us to get good jobs, which is be good employees, is to follow rules. I've just never understood. I've never really been able to hold a job. I've always had that tension with authority, because I've always felt I was okay to do what I want on my own. I don't ask any human soul for a thing. If I need $1, I'll go out and create it. So success to me is just kind of walking in that frequency of, you know what? I got it. I'm good enough. I'm smart enough. I like the way I look, feel, think, and I don't even understand the concept of asking
it's not asking. It's just that sometimes it's put out there that we are programmed to think that we need permission to succeed.
Yeah.
So given that atmosphere,
Yeah.
I was asking based on that.
Oh, well, yeah. Oh, but you use the word correctly. Like people are programmed, maybe in public school, maybe in social culture. But, people don't really take the time to just be by themselves, which is something I'm deeply, really big on. Is, all right, turn your phone off. Don't go outside. Be by yourself. And it is a great thing. Like I've lived by myself for quite some time. And it is just this thing of when you really stop and take stock of what's going on in your life and the what you want in your life, at the end of the day, like, it's all on you. I think the biggest thing for me, COVID was like, I live in this state continuously. The world could go into a complete and utter calamity, and at the end of the day, no one is coming to save you. So with people, if like you said, if people are programmed, to think otherwise, that they have to ask permission, typically it is because they're fearful that if something goes wrong and like this big coalition is going to come and help them, and they're scared to step out on their own. I live on my own. I live in my own space. I live in my own view and value of myself. So it is it is as simple as success is just the ownership that you are enough, you are okay. And at the end of the day, if you really think about it, it is all on you. So asking permission for anything is asinine.
And don't wait for it as well.
Dear Lord, this is your life, and
Just
it is
go for it.
This is your life, and it is ending 1 second at a time. Like, people need to grasp that.
So, what is your advice to men and women looking to enter this field and, generally whatever path they choose?
Oh, the legal and real estate field? Oh, dear God, don't. That's my advice.
Because you don't want competition?
It's extremely stressful. But my advice for people to enter in real estate and investment is real estate has always been the number one creator of millionaires of all time. Not this year, not this decade, of all time. And why? It's because this land are not making any more of it. It is really a thing that with the ownership of real estate is a powerful thing. You own a piece of this earth, and you can do remarkable things with that. So I really encourage people to take a step. If you have $5,000 sitting in the bank, trust me, that $5,000 can be a 5% payment on a piece of property. The bank will fund the rest. You get your friends, clean it up, make it nice, sell it. Next thing you know, you got $100,000 of equity, which is your profit. Like, it really is like kind of that simple. So I always encourage people, go and own land. It is a very valuable commodity.
Okay, great. So, Mr. Grove, how can one get to learn more about you?
What? Super famous online. Kidding. You can always go to our website, which is growth1031.com. Really simple. You can always give us a call. Our number is extremely easy. It is 619-991-1031. See what I did there? No?
I see
Saw
what
that?
you did there.
So it's really easy to find us online. You can literally type my name on Google. All my information will come up. Company's information will come up. We got an enormous library of educational videos on YouTube. So and you can always follow me on Instagram at Lance Growth. That's LanceGrowth.
So thank you so much, sir, and we look forward to having you
Thanks
back
for
again.
having me.
Our pleasure.
People, power, and politics. Hard talk, riveting interviews, community updates, in-depth analysis. That's people, power, and politics. We tell it to you as it is. No holds barred. You are the people, you have the power. We bring you the politics. To listen to our show, be a guest, or to advertise, visit www.pppradio.nyc. That's www.pppradio.nyc.